Apparently, the NBA Players Association, it is known as the NBA Union, is trying to get an exemption for Cade Cunningham for the 65 game rule for season awards. I mean, at this point, if he don't play another, he don't have to take another dribble or play another game, even without that rule, he probably won't be MVP. Okay, he probably make first team All NBA. And then some people was thinking because the Wizards was laughing at them, tried to hurt Duncan Robinson and all that type of stuff, that they might have did it on purpose. I don't know. And you heard the Wizards fans talking about when they called a foul on Duncan Robinson, trying to stop one of their bum ass players going to, he wasn't undercutting him. That was good defense. And now you started to kind of look in the NBA and, even you probably go to LA Fitness or some open runs they be having. Now you starting to see that when you have a conversation, they don't even know what a foul is anymore. The NBA and its fake entertainment guy, fake sport ass, having everybody think everything is a foul. It's a sport. It's supposed to be bumps. It's supposed to be slaps. It's supposed to be physicality. It's supposed to be hand checking. That's real basketball. A foul isn't, a foul is a real foul. It's a real course of action to stop your momentum. Not bumping, not hand checking, not physical play, not flopping. You know what I'm saying? And that's the crazy thing about it. But like I said, if people came to work, you wouldn't need this rule. If people came to work, and I find it funny in the NBA Players Union, or the players wanted to cut the season down to 65 games. But then don't nobody want a 65 game check. You feel me? Don't nobody want to give up. What is that, about 17 games worth of don't nobody want to give up 17 games worth of money. That's why I don't understand the entitlement of this generation. They want to get paid not to work. When your consumer is the fans, you want to pay for play thing. And that's why I stand on the rule, bruh. That's why I stand on the rule. People don't want to go to work no more. It's too many bailouts. It's too many. I can do this. I can start an OnlyFans and all that stuff. Ain't nothing wrong with making an honest living. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Show up to work. And then you talking about, you got people that's in a top 1-2%, people with top 0.5% job in this world. That's just people's dreams. You don't want to show up to work. That's why I'm a supporter of the rule. Show up to work. Be consistent. And it just lets you know that a lot of communities lack father figures. And I say this all the time. You see your father get up, rain, sleet, snow, sunny, slow motion, don't nothing move but the money. Go get it. That sends a message to everybody in the household, but I'm glad they're trying to have his back. But at the end of the day, hopefully come back stronger. The NBA, I feel like this is a good case for them to exempt the rule. He's legitimately injured. I mean, he ain't took too many games off. Not too much load management. Maybe the Brooklyn game. I mean, he had, I think, 11 games to miss, and he go down. And a couple of, the first season he got injured. The second season he got injured. Played a good third season. Got paid, I think, after the third season. Him and Ivy was rolling in the fourth season. Ivy went down. Had a strong finish, and then he injured again. So I think it was a freak accident. I think he made the adjustments to his nutrition. He's vegan too. So a lot of people don't even understand, people think, vegan and, that's going to make you better. But it doesn't. I've seen a whole bunch of fat motherfuckers that claim to be vegans, or, you need a lot of animal protein to really sustain the durability of sports. You lose so many electrolytes, to hold that protein that you need, to hold that nutrients that you need on a day-to-day basis. It's hard to have really strong muscles. Even back in the day when, or back in the civilization, they ate a lot of bone broth. Therefore, they had a lot of collagen. Collagen is very key. We not really eating the foods we need to eat. So let alone being vegan. I mean, Bernard Hopkins always said, if a professional boxer, if you're a professional athlete, don't go vegan. But for him, he has the money to get the proteins, to get the beans, to get the nutrients, to get the best, whatever to make up. But it's hard to be a vegan and then sustain as a durable athlete too. Because your nutrition got to be on point. And then also genetics play a role in it too. So your nutrition. But, kind of when you see how meat is processed, you don't want to deal with it. So that's fair game. So, the last season he was fairly healthy, but 3 out of the 5 seasons he been injured. He didn't dealt with an injury. So, I don't think that, it's not as catastrophic as we thought it was going to be, but, or how it sounds, but I'm glad that the union's job is to fight, and honestly, if it's any union that can get it done, it's this one and the Major League Baseball union who can get something like this done, to be honest. Real talk. If it's any union that can get it done, it's this one in the Major League Baseball union. Real spiel. So I think they got, I think they should. But then again, where do we draw the line at? Oh, for Cade, but then again, they show favoritism to a bunch of people. So there needs to be a better rule. And I don't know how you quantify somebody being injured or not. And I don't even know how they came up with the 65 games, but but people need to come to work. And that's not just an issue in the NBA. If you have that issue in the NBA where that's people's dream job to come to work and something that you should love to do, imagine the issues that these companies having. You know what I'm saying? Where, quote unquote, jobs are scarce and people still don't want to go to work. Crazy, right? Real crazy times, man. But hopefully they amend the rule for his sake. But I'm glad that when he made the All-NBA team, he got his money. But yeah, man, you gotta want to do it. You gotta prepare your body for this. And then you talk about them ramping down practices and tour days, and they don't practice no more in the NBA. They don't do 2 padded practices in the NFL, and you starting to see a direct correlation to the lack of durability. You must prepare the body for war. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times the preparation is tougher than the actual war is supposed to be. And when you got guys that's not training or they're not practicing throughout the season, people think, oh, less practice is less mileage on the knee. No, it don't work that way. It's like if you left a bike, I'm not going to ride my bike, and you leave it a long time and the chain rust out. Bike, gonna have to get a new chain and oil some fucking handlebars and stuff of that nature. So the same principle applies to the human body. If you don't move it, if you don't keep it at a certain level, it ain't gonna perform. So you have to ramp up the level. Or keep it in motion. So hit the link in the description. Check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.